All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for joining us this evening. We're really, really excited to get to share all about these beautiful, wonderful oils. And I'm really, really excited to get to do this with Gemma this evening. So we're very excited to do this together, aren't we, Gemma?
It's been a long time in the making.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen and then we can get started. Okay. Right. Hopefully you can all see the screen. I'm just going to play for us. Okay, so welcome this evening. So today is all about empowering you. Now, obviously, there's lots of people who are super passionate about lots of different things, but actually the most important thing here is you and what you can do for yourself. I have been helping people to learn about doTERRA essential oils for nearly 9 years now. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. My background was in primary teaching, so I've always loved teaching and helping. I grew up in the south of France. We actually had a really crazy childhood. And what that means is that there can be lots of emotional trauma that happens in your childhood. And in most people's childhood, if you listen hard enough, there's emotional things that come in. And so when I talk about these essential oils, the really thing that I find so empowering is the strength that it can give for your personal well-being, but emotional as well as physical. And that to me is super, super important. So today we're going to be talking about 3 cool things about essential oils, 3 ways to use these essential oils, and how to get them in your home if that's something that you would wish to do. So the first thing is about having choices. The issue we have, and we feel very frustrated, and it can really, really affect us, is when we're constricted, when we feel like there is no other choice. It's the worst feeling, isn't it? So when things get really hard anywhere in our world, whether it's at home, whether it's in our jobs, or whatever it is, if we feel we're cornered into this situation where there's no choice, it's a horrible feeling to have. So we want to help people to know that actually there are choices. Now, the modern approach is you have something that comes up, that pops up, and it's an issue. And so you'll go to the doctors and you'll explain what's going on, and they will look at, okay, what's going to deal with those symptoms. But actually, it's not really looking at the root cause. And sometimes those symptoms are popping up when actually the root cause is something completely different. So you might be taking a tablet because you've got a really intense head tension, but actually it's because you're emotionally overwhelmed. So realistically, you're dealing with the symptom instead of that root cause. Whereas the really, really exciting thing about doTERRA is, like I said, we're actually able to support the emotional side as well as the physical side. So this is something that's really exciting. And wild orange is one of those beautiful essential oils. It's like sunshine in a bottle. It's really, really powerful to be able to breathe in and actually impact your well-being. And wild orange, actually, when you breathe in the essential oils, you've got one synapse from here to the limbic part of your brain at the back, and that's where your emotions and memories are stored. So, you know, when you smell something, you think, oh, that reminds me of Christmas, for example. That's because it's the same part of the brain. So how amazing if you're able to actually inhale something that chemically alters what's going on, which is super exciting. So wild orange actually increases serotonin, which increases endorphins, and endorphins make us feel happy. So in the morning, for example, if you wake up and you find it quite difficult because the day ahead might be challenging, or something's frustrated you, or you haven't slept well, how cool would it be to have a wild orange bottle by your bed, put that in your hand, breathe it in, and actually chemically alter what's going on straight away? A really powerful way to use it. So the first amazing thing about doTERRA essential oils is they are 100% natural and safe. Now, that sounds like a crazy thing to have to say about essential oils, but unfortunately, in the world that we live in, it's actually not true for most essential oils out there. The industry standard is a very small percentage. It's around 3 to 4%. They're allowed to put a sticker on that bottle that says 100% pure, sometimes even organic, and in that bottle, it's not required to be 100%. So you kind of think, what, really? Because we're so used to labels being true, because that's what's required industry standard for most of our food. But in this industry, it is not regulated and it's not required. So they don't have to do it. So then what happens if somebody says to you, oh, use lavender. Lavender's really good if you're struggling to sleep. And you might take that lavender bottle and then you'll do a couple of drops on your pillow maybe, because on the back it will say, do not take internally, do not put directly on the skin. And you kind of think, well, why couldn't I? It's actually plant-based, isn't it? But of course it isn't, because it's only around 4% of that in the bottle. So then you're disheartened because you think, well, actually essential oils don't work. But realistically, you didn't really get essential oils on your pillow, did you really? Because it's such a tiny percentage. So with doTERRA, they are 100% pure, and that is why we can use them the way we use them. The other thing that's really beautiful and wonderful about doTERRA is where they source them. So they source them from all around the world where they're supposed to grow. You know, like strawberries, in season and out of season. If you look at them, they look the same, but when you bite into them, they taste completely different. And that's the same. doTERRA could easily buy up lots of land and grow all these plants in greenhouses, but they're not going to be as they would be in nature. And they want to be able to bring nature to us properly as they should be. So the other side of that is it helps those communities as well. And that's something I'm really, really passionate about. And I just love about doTERRA is that they work with farmers directly and all of those families and most of them are in developing countries, which is beautiful. They are the most tested and most trusted essential oils in the world, genuinely. They are so intense on the science. So on the bottom of each essential oil bottle, you probably can't see, it's teeny, teeny, tiny. So there's like a barcode, and you can actually put that barcode in a website called Source to You, and you can literally trace that bottle all the way to source. Now, what that means is there's no middle people. There's no people cutting it with other random things, which is actually what happens in the other essential oil world. So we are so lucky to get these pure essential oils. And let's say peppermint. So we've got peppermint here. That's a beautiful essential oil to be able to drop in your water, to be able to energize, to be able to focus. And actually, if you're presenting, it's a really lovely one to just literally put in your water and drink it. It's brilliant. It's a really powerful, energizing one as well. So the next thing that we're going to look at is why, and this is probably my favorite part of this, because this is an issue that happens to most people, where we get poorly, we go to the doctors and we're like, okay, what's going on and what do I need to get better? Because actually that's all we want. We just want help. So we go to the doctors and it's either usually a bacterial infection or a viral infection. If it's a bacterial infection, it's on the outside of the cell. If it's a viral infection, it's inside our cells. Now, I never really knew this before I learned about essential oils. Sciencey people might have known this, but I didn't actually know this. But you know when the doctor would say to you, oh, it's a virus, they always say, go home, rest, drink plenty of water. And you'd think, what? What do you mean you can't do anything to help me? Like, why? Why can't you help me? And it's because the virus is inside the cell. Now, bacteria on the outside of the cell, they can prescribe us antibiotics, because antibiotics is designed to clear the bacteria and can access it because it's water soluble. But antibiotics cannot get into the cell, so it's useless. And on top of that, it kills our friendly bacteria as well. And on top of that, so many people are becoming antibiotic resistant, which means it's worse and worse and worse, and people need stronger and stronger and stronger to be able to combat against bacterial infections. Whereas oregano and tea tree, these two really potent, powerful essential oils, are nature's most powerful antibiotics, which is so exciting. And there's actually a video on this that you can literally definitely ask for it, because it's a really cool video. you actually can see, so bacteria is really clever. It will create this weird sludge around itself to protect it. And the tea tree comes in and clears that sludge. And then the oregano pierces the bacteria and it basically explodes. And of course, when we get really poorly, it's when it's multiplied so much that it's taken hold. Let's say if it's a sore throat, it's taken hold. What if when you start to feel that little tingle coming and you go, oh no, I can feel it coming. I'm going to get ill in a bit. Like, you know that tomorrow you're probably going to be really poorly. What if you could gargle oregano, tea tree, oregano, and on guard, and then it doesn't come? How cool would that be? And that's exactly what happens. So oregano, tea tree, and then we've got on guard. On guard is like a mixture of all those like cinnamon, wild orange, ginger, like it's all these kind of old wives' tales of really powerful things that support you to get better. So that's what that blend is there. So brilliant for anything, like whether it's chest related, just this time of year, you know, your winter wellness, you want that in your toolbox to be able to combat against it. So we've talked about the bacteria, but what about the virus? So essential oils are so cool, they can actually penetrate the cell membrane wall and get into the virus as well. So that is just so exciting. So not only does it support with bacterial infections, but also it can get into the cells and support the viral infections as well. So we don't even need to know which one it is. We just need to get on it and get these oils into our bodies. The third thing, now this is something that often comes up, people are like, oh, but they're really expensive. And I'm saying that they're really expensive. That's what people will say. And that's because they're comparing them to essential oils that maybe have around 4% in the bottle. Now, of course, that will look more expensive because you're going to need like 50, 60 drops of the other one for 1 drop of essential oil. And for example, there's a big supermarket store where everything's really cheap, beginning with a P. Teenagers love it too, right? But that shop sells frankincense for £1. I was like, oh my gosh, there is no way there's any frankincense in that bottle, which is crazy, right? You just think, ah,
Yep.
what are you going to say, Gemma?
No, I'll not. Yeah, it's not the only one that I see, and it can be.
Yes, it's not.
I actually shared this on my own page the other day, just coming back to that, and it's ironic because when you're using these oils, ironically, they could be having an adverse effect on your health. Do you know? And it just seems,
100%.
it's so backwards. So
exactly.
I was going to
Because
say.
actually you're using them as if it's natural health, but it's
Yeah,
totally the opposite because there's not, I mean, who genuinely knows what's in there?
exactly.
Synthetic smells, which is
Chemicals.
another thing your body's combating against.
Yeah. And it was like the one, just to touch on there, I remember when I first started with doTERRA 4 years ago, and everyone would say to me, like, I would recommend lavender, and people would be like, oh no, I can't use lavender essential oil, it gives me such a headache. And I'd be like, no, but have you tried doTERRA lavender?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my word, I've not got the headache. And I'm like, probably because before you were using oils that exactly what you've just said. So
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, exactly. Completely synthetic, man-made stuff that your body's then like, what is this? So cost-effective wise, also it depends on what you have going on, right? So there are more expensive oils, there are cheaper oils in the doTERRA range as well. And so frankincense, for example, is a bit more expensive than, say, your lavender. But then you utilize them for the things that you need. And then you've got On Guard, again, is cheaper than your frankincense. So depending on how severe your things that you have going on, you can decide, okay, which ones am I going to use? And 1 drop, these are the price per drop, but actually you don't even need a drop. You literally tilt it like this, and then you've got like the residue on your hand, and that's enough to actually use. It's literally not even a drop. And then it's kind of figuring out, okay, well, what am I actually using instead of these essential oils? So for example, if it's a burning sensation in your chest and you're drinking something that starts with G, can't really name names because we're online, right? So things that people use for that, uncomfortable indigestion, etc. but it's not cheap. And when I was pregnant, I used to drink bottles of it because there was I had no other choices. I didn't have these oils, and that was expensive. And you know, prescriptions are actually really, I actually don't remember how much they are now because it's been so long since I've actually had one because of having these. So price wise, these are still cheaper and more effective and faster than anything else that I have and I used to have in my cabinet that I had at home for when things popped up. Whether it's, you know, headaches, whatever it is going on, there's something that can deal with it faster. But yeah, if anybody has any other questions over specifics of that, anxious feelings as well, you've got frankincense there that's really powerful for that. So there's lots and lots of different ways of looking at it. Ear infections is another one that my family used to deal with a lot. And so but it used to be really recurring. And this is the thing, sometimes you'll get medication like antibiotics, and then however the next cycle of comes and it comes back again, and it's not quite getting rid of it completely. And then once we used the oils, those things stopped. We did not have them as part of our cycle of illnesses that would occur all the time, which is also very exciting. Because I don't know about you, but I think sleep is there's no cost for sleep, like as in I could not put a price on my sleep, and when people are poorly in your home, that's an expensive thing because you're up at all night and all of this. So the price is really, really, it's important to think about. Okay, so, oh, it's going crazy. So top health concerns. So in a moment, Gemma's just going to go through the 3 ways of how we use these. So whilst she's going through them, I would like you to have a really big think about your top health concerns. What is it that's going on in your life right now that you're like, oh, wouldn't it be awesome if essential oils could help with this? Whether that's stress, digestive issues, sleep, pain, anxious feelings. There's so many, the list is huge, right? Whatever you specifically have going on at this point in time, I want you to really have a think about it. If you've got a pen, write it down. And then as we go along, you know, have a think, has that been covered? And if it hasn't, then please do either put it in the chat or unmute yourself and say, could you please tell me which one you would use for? Because it's always helpful because so many people are dealing with very similar things.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Gemma.
Thank you so much, Catherine. So yeah, 3 ways to use doTERRA essential oils. And I feel like for me with essential oils as well, they're actually so easy to use. And I think at the start, it's so easy to get overwhelmed and like, how do I use them? And it's so easy just to pick one up. So we're going to talk about the 3 key ways to use them, starting with aromatically, which is probably the easiest way to start off with oils. So aromatically basically means we're using a diffuser to either diffuse the oils. I have a diffuser over there, or we're inhaling them. So this is one of the best ways to get them into your system, like Catherine touched on earlier, getting them in through into the limbic system, affecting everything going on up there, our emotions. So really, really easy way just to use them, especially if you're just feeling like, for example, like tonight it's 7:30, I'm like, okay, we're doing a class, get a bit of peppermint on my hand, rub it in and inhale. I feel energized straight away. So we diffuse or inhale oils to positively affect our mood, cleanse the air, support the respiratory system. So we've got 3 lovely oils here, for example. So On Guard, our protective blend. So again, like Catherine said, this is like our old wives' tale blend, full of cloves and wild orange and all those really immune boosting oils. So I would put this in my diffuser maybe towards the end of the year when people are getting ill more. There's people are complaining of catching things. Really, really good one to put in the air. It helps to cleanse the air. Also great again just to put on your hands. I use it like if I'm out and about. You can get the hand sanitizer version, so if you're out and about, again, I'm really fussy about hand sanitizers now. I don't use them because that's another story, but I will use the doTERRA one because it's natural. So again, really nice being able to turn to natural solutions as opposed to things that maybe have chemicals and synthetics in it. Wild Orange, again, Catherine briefly touched on this lovely oil, but a really, really uplifting oil, great for anxious feelings, great in the morning if you want to pop that on your diffuser. Maybe you're waking up, feeling a little bit meh, a little bit low, great one to put in the diffuser. and lavender is as well. So many uses for lavender. Again, great for anxious feelings, great for sleep. Lavenders are really nice one to put in your bed. Sorry, put in your diffuser at nighttime if you have struggle drifting to sleep or staying asleep. Lavender in a diffuser is really, really good. And yeah, so many. Air's not there. We've got another lovely blend, sorry, which is really good if you're having like, you know, sniffly nose. If you've got kids who are, you know, sneezing and sniffing a lot, getting air, which is another blend we'll come on to later, which is great to diffuse as well. So aromatically is the first way and the simplest way to just get those oils into your system. Second way is topically. So again, pretty much as it says, this is when we apply oils directly to the skin. So this provides localized benefits. So there's a few ways to do this. Normally we recommend diluting the oil with fractionated coconut oil because it helps the oil to absorb into the skin faster and over a larger piece of skin. So for example, if you're putting oil on your feet at night, if you just put, now just it absorbs, you know, it's easier to, when we're putting it on the skin, we want to use a carrier so it absorbs quicker and it expands more. That's right, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And like, say, for example, if you've got a sore wrist, for example, if you put it just neat on you, it will go in quite quickly.
Yes.
Whereas if you put a carrier oil on, what you're doing is you're not only helping it to spread across the skin more, but slower absorption. And of course, it then stays in your bloodstream for even longer. So it's a great way of using it.
Yeah, and a carrier, I suppose, also helps the, oils go further in a sense. So I always use a carrier when I'm applying topically. So examples of way you could apply topically, for example, there for localized benefits. So we have Deep Blue, which is our soothing blend. So this is really, really good if you have any aches and pains, muscular tension, maybe you go to the gym a lot, or maybe you've like had a sprain, something like that. Deep Blue is really, really good to get diluted with some fractionated coconut oil and get right into the muscles, and so soothing. This is actually one of the oils that got me hooked with doTERRA. Air, again, air is the blend I was speaking about just before. So again, our respiratory blend. So again, dilute it with some coconut oil, get it on your chest if you're feeling a bit chestier, you have symptoms of, you know, maybe a bit of a cough, a bit of a cold. Really nice to put onto the chest area. There's also, I think, if in doubt with applying topically, you might agree with this, Catherine, I just always apply it to the soles of our feet. For those of you who have an awareness or into reflexology, we know that the feet is linked to every single organ in the body. So if in doubt, always put them on your feet. And the spine's a really good place to put them too, because they're really getting into all your systems there. Yeah. And then frankincense, king of oils, so many benefits. I don't know where to start with frankincense. It's the oil. If in doubt, I always say, if in doubt, frank it out. Like it's just the oil I go to for everything. Really grounding, great for anxious feelings. A lot of health benefits in terms of, I think we spoke about this on the live about the apoptosis.
Yes, cellular support. Cells that are not behaving how they should. We want to use this to get rid of those ones, definitely.
Yes, so amazing benefits. If you Google frankincense, there's a lot of studies now on PubMed, isn't there, which is scientifically backed. So yeah, a lot of studies there that you can go and look at in your own time.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a maximizer as well. So if you use frankincense with something else, it's like it multiplies it. It's such a powerful oil. And so we, you know, obviously we talked about the mind, low mood, because so many people experience that as well. Like sometimes we're just really low mood and we need support to get, you know, elevate that as well. So 100% frankincense is like literally an oil I would not be without. It's actually one of the biggest oils that we have for use in our family for my middle son. So he's actually got PDA, which is pathological demand avoidance under the autistic spectrum. And when he has huge meltdowns, this is the oil that literally, again, I will literally just do this. I don't even put a drop, and then I just put it across the back of his neck. Sometimes he doesn't want me to touch him, so I'll put it on his arm or wherever I can kind of access when he's having a huge meltdown. And it's literally like a switch. So it kind of is, you can see him processing, like she's just put something on me. Sometimes don't touch me will come out when I do that. but then literally it's like whoosh, and then he goes, sorry about that, okay, and then moves on as if the whole episode has not happened. So this oil is like amazing oil for us in our family. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'll go on to the third way actually, then I'll come.
oh yeah, say that again, sorry.
No, I was just going to say the third way to use is internally, but I'll say because I take a drop under my tongue for cellular support every day.
Amazing.
And I'm just noticed a question here. We'll definitely come to the proportion to correctly dilute essential oils a wee bit later on, but that's a really good question. And can any oil be used as a carrier? We'll also come back to that. It's a good question.
Yes.
So the third way to use them is internally. Now, I think this is, for me, where I used to get a lot of, I think this is where a lot of people are surprised that you can use oils internally. But what we spoke about with Catherine is that these oils are very natural, they're very pure, so they are certified safe to take internally. But if you don't feel comfortable taking them internally, don't. That's what I say to all my customers. You do what feels right for you.
Yeah.
So this is the third way to use them, is internally. Not all of the oils can be taken internally, but we can come back to that. There's a list of, there's only a few that actually can't be. I'm sure, isn't there, Kat? But yeah, we can come back
Yes.
to that.
And again, if say, for example, you say, okay, I want doTERRA in my life, all of that is provided. Like you
Yeah.
get a book and you get all of that tells you which ones not to take, and
Yes.
you get support along the way as well.
Absolutely. So when taking them internally, there is a few ways you can do it. So the easiest way is actually just to put a few drops in your water. I do this every single day. So for example, lemon in my water first thing in the morning, grapefruit, wild orange, all the really fruity ones are really nice just to give you a natural kind of taste as well. If you're kind of wanting to come away from, I don't know, maybe you're like a fizzy juice lover and you're wanting to try something more natural, great alternative. In a veggie capsule, so these are little, you can see on the screen there, these are little capsules. You can put a few drops of oil in the capsule and take them internally if you don't like the taste. Or the other option is under your tongue. So again, this is what I do with frankincense every morning. We've spoke a bit about lemon and Zengester, which is also great to take internally. This is a digestive blend, so really good for all things digestive issues, discomfort. Again, you can put it in your water, can put in a veggie cap. Really what feels right for you, I think. Yeah, it's really what feels right for you, but it's really, really versatile in a lot of different ways that you can use the oils.
Definitely. And yeah, so there's in terms of dilution, once as an adult, it's not as important. So you can literally just do a little bit of coconut oil and a drop, as you go along. It's not majorly essential. When they're tiny babies, for example, then you would be a little bit more cautious, or if using it with your pets, then you'd be more cautious. And again, we can get those specifics for you as well. The reason why we use coconut oil as a carrier oil is because the chemical constituents of the coconut oil, where the fat's removed, so it's fractionated coconut oil, it carries the properties of the essential oils really, really well without changing or doing anything. Obviously, there are other oils that can totally do the same, like almond oil, but some people have more sensitivities to nuts. So, of course, doTERRA chose the one that was the most kind of supportive for the most people, if that makes sense. But yeah, if you're used to and you use other carrier oils, then totally you can. Yeah, definitely. Good question. Okay, so the last little bit that we're going to talk about is the supplements. Now, even though doTERRA is an essential oil company, this is the #1 selling product. And the reason why is because it has the biggest impact on the most people. And that's because, of course, the foundation of health is nutrition. Now, if our foundation of our health is nutrition and we're eating perfectly well, raw, organic, all this amazing food, then if you were like me, you would think, well, actually, why would I need to supplement? It doesn't make sense to me. I eat really well. However, the soil is so depleted of vitamins and minerals. The soil is so depleted that actually the apples now, I can't remember what the study was, but it was a ridiculous amount. I said 17, and then somebody else said it's like 34 times. You'd need 34 apples now versus one in the 1930s to get the same vitamins and minerals from that apple, which was like, what? That's crazy, right? And that's because they've over all the soil and there's just basically nothing left. So we need additional things to support us to get that foundation. And so you've got your vitamin complex, you've got your omegas, and you've got your superfoods. Now, the way this works with our body is we've got like little doors designed to absorb different vitamins and minerals. And if, say, for example, you take a synthetic supplement and you eat that synthetic supplement, that little door designed, for example, for vitamin A, looks at the synthetic supplement. This was by a chemist. She described this so that we could all understand it really clearly. That door goes, well, actually, you're not vitamin A, you're not coming in, and closes. So then your body's natural ability to absorb those vitamins and minerals from your food is actually reduced. And I just thought, what? So it's actually worse if I'm taking these synthetic supplements than nothing at all. And she said, yes, that's right. Because actually what you're doing is you're paying for the most expensive wee ever because you just flush it out your body because your body does not recognize it. Now you'll have that intense kind of high feeling of high energy because it's designed to do that, because actually it's a synthetic and it's kind of like a drug. So you're high energy, and when you stop taking it, you get a crash. Whereas these, they are literally like having a superfood meal each day. And so, yes, if you forget them one day, forget them 2 days, you're actually still fine, right? Because you're not having a crash. What you will notice the difference after a few days, because you're like, oh, you know, you might have a little bit more aches and pains, or you might be feeling less energy, or you might feel like you need a nap. There's all these different things that different people experience with these, but the biggest game changer, and you can see there on the screen, it's like, well, actually that covers everything, doesn't it? Like DNA protection, all eye, brain, nervous system, all of that. This is like the foundation of any support. So if you've got anything chronic, even if it's skin, like psoriasis, eczema, like skin issues are gut-related issues, and we have amazing programs that can support with that. And this is the foundation because it's all gut. If it's literally well-being in terms of mental health and well-being, again, your gut is where your emotions are actually going on, right? So if you can help your gut with the right nutrition, it changes so much in your life. And that's why this is the most important product that doTERRA actually do. And I'm super passionate about it because I've seen this time and time again, changing people's lives. The next one is Meta Power. Now, this is a whole class in itself. I am literally just skating over what this is. Now, Meta Power, the scientists at doTERRA have studied and studied and studied essential oils that could do something for us that so many of us feel like we need. And that is to inhibit fat cells growth. And when they announced it, like there was like screaming and cheering, of course, right? Everybody was like, yes, they figured out this. So Meta Power essential oil. So you've got essential oil here. This is in the beadlets, and this is big capsules. So these three products are identical, all the oils. This one here is actually a powder form. This one is to help with sugar crashes. So whether it's type 1, type 2 diabetes, or you are just wanting to have optimal health in terms of when you eat, you don't have a spike and then a crash, then this product here is absolutely phenomenal. Then you've got Meta Power Advantage, and that is collagen. Now, collagen, everybody's heard of collagen. And by the age of 25, we stop producing a specific part that helps us to keep a lot of supple, everything really, skin, face, eyes, everything. And what this is 9 different types of collagen. Most collagen types is 1 or 2. And this one, because it is natural, we absorb it properly, the same as the supplements, which means it's actually 12 times more powerful than any collagen on the market. This is the study that they've done, which is so exciting, which means And this has been around for over a year now, and we have so many amazing testimonials on this. But again, it's a whole other class. I just wanted to let you know that that's there. So there's 3 ways to purchase doTERRA. The first way is retail. It's the most expensive way, and I've never, ever, ever helped someone to purchase it in this way because it doesn't make sense to me for someone to pay more. The second way is to get a customer account. Now, this is £24 to get a customer account, and then you get 25% off everything. However, they have a special offer on at the moment where if you go over 150 points, which is around £130 what you purchase, you will get this one for free. Or you go for the below wholesale where they've created specific kits that are even lower in price than if you were to buy them at wholesale. And these waiver that £24 customer fee. So this is the most popular kit. It's the Home Essentials kit. It has the top 10 core essential oils that we've covered this evening, plus it has a diffuser. Then you've got the Family Essentials kit. Now, the Family Essentials kit is the exact same core 10, but they are the 5 ml bottles. So you can actually see the difference in size. So they're the 5 ml bottles versus the 15 ml. So if I go back, you can see the price difference. So this one is twice the price, but 3 times the amount of essential oil. So value-wise, this one is definitely the most cost-effective. Or you can choose, okay, well, I want the Meta Power kit. And again, this is as a whole kit. They're available as well. So obviously, it's very different because we kind of can't just, right, let's just talk one-to-one now as an in-person event. But it's about having those conversations about what you have going on and how you would want these oils to be able to support you. You will also get an email with the contact details, and the contact details are also on the booking, so on the Eventbrite event. So if you want to reach out, and obviously a lot of you know Gemma and have reached out directly to Gemma, so please do reach out directly, and then we can look at having a one-to-one. Gemma will and I will, so whoever was your point of contact to this class, they can actually help you have a one-to-one Zoom and then just figure out, okay, what's your best starting point? What's the most cost-effective way of supporting you with the things that you have going on? Okay, and then once you get your kit, you are not alone. You are literally supported. We are here to support you. It is about having all of those resources available. Do you remember how I said this is about you being empowered? Now, the last thing you want is to get a kit of oils and go, oh my gosh, I need to text Gemma because I've got this going on, or I need to text, and that was me at the beginning. That was literally me. I was like, oh my goodness, I need to ask. And actually, it's like, but then that's what I always used to do. I would go somewhere, sit down, they type in the computer and tell me this is what you need. But actually, we're really lucky. We can literally go to books and resources and type stuff in ourselves and go, this is what that is. Amazing. Now, these are the oils that it says support that. Brilliant. Let's do that. And actually support it that way. So it's really, really exciting.
That book, sorry, just to jump in,
Oh, yeah.
I've got that here. That book changed my life with the oils because I was the exact same. Like every single day, like what oil can I use? Which is totally like it's obviously we're here to help,
Totally normal, yeah.
to ask questions. But yeah, I love the empowerment side of things too. And I thought, right, I'm going to get the book, and just being able to this is one of my favorites as well. Being able just to go in, it has every single ailment, exactly what oils to use, how many drops for what. It's great. It's got everything about kids, safety. Yeah, it's great. So that's why I loved about doTERRA too, is the it becomes a lifestyle rather than just a one-off, I'm going to use this once and then that's it. So yeah, it's so exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Okay, so the last little bit is there's 3 types of people that would have come to this class. So you might be sitting there thinking, do you know what? This actually coincides with the lifestyle I really want to create in my home and in my family. I want a wellness lifestyle. Or you might have been thinking, oh my goodness, okay, well, actually, I know quite a few people have got that going on, and I think these oils could help. Or you might be thinking, well, actually, this is something that I could do. I could share these because I know there's so many people that this could help. And that's a really special thing that we get to do, is to be able to help people. So I'm very quickly just going to go over what that looks like. And it'll literally take 2-3 minutes, and why we do what we do, because actually we're very, very blessed to have these in our lives. So doTERRA is the largest essential oil company in the world. They're the most tested and the most trusted oils. They're used by doctors and hospitals worldwide. They're ethically and sustainably sourced. We work directly with farmers in over 120 markets. Now, what that means is if you have someone you know in Australia or America or South Africa, you can actually reach out to them and help them to have doTERRA in their homes, no matter where they are. The compensation plan is genius. Now, as a primary teacher, I was a very thorough primary teacher. I wanted to be the best because I'm really dedicated type of person. And I would always get in and make sure everything was as it should be for my class. And there were other teachers that it just was not what they did, right? They would rock in, they would just, and I used to think, oh my gosh, like they get paid the same as me. Whereas this is the type of business that you get paid for exactly the effort that you put in. And I love it, it's fair. We have a really high retention of customers. So over 65, it's actually 75% in Europe of our customers continue, because like what Gemma says, this is a lifestyle. This is about empowering you to know that there's natural toothpaste, that there's natural laundry detergents, to know that there's all of that out there to support you. They are a privately owned company. Why is that important? Because nobody's going to tell them what they are going to do. And in this world, we don't want big people that have control over what we do and what we say. We want to be able to be part of something that it's privately owned, so they decide exactly how they do it. And when the pandemic occurred, this was something that blew my mind. One of the CEOs, she stood up and she said, at the moment, there's so much darkness in the world. There's so much darkness. She said, so we need to be the light in the world. We need to be helping people in their homes and be the light in the world that's full of darkness. And I just remember being like, yeah. And the reason they can do that is because they are privately owned. They own this company and it's just them. No big people coming in and pulling strings. The owners themselves are the most beautiful people, honesty ever. And Gemma can actually share a video called Genesis, and it's just, you know, when you just want to feel, well, what is this company? Who are these people? And why would you want to know that? Because actually, it is nice to know who you're actually investing your money with, because that's what you do. You know, when you go to Tesco's, you're paying Tesco's, right? You're investing your money in that person, those people higher up. And so it's beautiful to see who these people are. They are debt-free with no outside funding. Again, that's massively important. So many businesses and companies will encourage people to get into debt, to actually do stuff like get a flashy car. They actually reward people to get out of debt. They are a beautifully ethical company. So questions that you might think, well, how does this work, right? So how do I make money? How much time would be involved? And could this work for me? And what's the next steps? So it's very simple. We sample people. We let people experience the oils. We teach them. They get their essential oils, and then we support them. That is literally what the business is. How much is the income potential? Again, this depends on where and how hard people want to put their time and effort in. But this is not a kind of get rich quick scheme. This is a business. It is a very ethical business, and it works exactly how it says. So it is an amazing company to be involved with. So how much time is involved? So if you just think, well, actually, I just want to get my oils for free, I want to get my oils paid for, then that would be you potentially sharing with people 3 to 5 hours a week. If you want to supplement your income, that would be 5 to 15 hours a week. If you wanted to replace your income, 15 to 30 hours a week. And again, it's all down to how you would want to do it. So could this work for me? So are you passionate about oils or natural health? Do you love people? Do you love helping people? Can you follow a system and get things done? So if the answer is yes to that, then this could totally be something that you might want to get involved in. So what's the next step? Just reach out for help. If this is something that kind of resonates with you and you want to help more people, then please just reach out. doTERRA's focus is on getting the best so that we can help the most. And their theme for this year is helping the world to heal. I mean, it's the coolest. I love that. That's their theme for this year. It's just absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much for coming on this evening. I'm going to stop the recording.
We've had one more question there as
Oh,
well.
yes, in the chat.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly address that. So Claire, I need to make some Zengest for reflux. Is that what would be best? Yes, absolutely. Zengest would be best in supporting reflux. Also keen to know what you use for sore ears and how to take it. My son is currently complaining of a sore ear and the doctor's saying it's all viral. So I would love to be able to help ease it for him.
Yes. Okay, so lavender, tea tree, and basil are the main three. And you literally massage it around the ear and down, and then actually on your finger, and you massage up, down, and twist. I've actually got a video from my he was 4, doing that exact action, so I can send that to Gemma and get her to send it. It's really cute. 10 now.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah, but yeah, and that's the thing, you're empowering your children to be able to take control of their health and well-being as well, which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. We can talk about that, Claire. I can give you some samples.
Yes. So what I'll do is, obviously you can ask more questions. I'll stop the recording and then we can just answer any more questions that people might have.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening though, because everybody cut it there. I'm like, thanks. Speak to you soon.
Thanks and questions.
Yeah.